This is WVEC TV, Channel 13.
Good evening, I'm Joe Flanagan. Alveda Yule's not feeling well tonight. Coming up next on 13 News, drug indictments against a former Virginia Beach deputy sheriff and a former Norfolk policeman. The Beach Health Department inoculates patrons of 2 restaurants against hepatitis. And Norfolk receives a visit from Glen Campbell.
And now, the latest news from across Hampton Roads with Joe Flanagan, Alveda Yule, Dwayne Harding's forecast, and sports with Scott Cash. This is 13 News Tonight.
Well, a little later, Jim Kincaid talks about hunting for signs of spring. Dr. Dwayne will share a few gardening tips and a wet forecast. And we'll hear from Glen Campbell in town for a concert tonight. It's hard to believe it was 20 years ago when Glen Campbell was a regular at the top of the pop music charts. Well, the man who popularized Wichita Lineman and Gentle on My Mind visited Norfolk tonight. The entertainers of the 60s, people like the Smothers Brothers and the Monkees, seem to be making a comeback. So does the variety show format that Campbell helped make popular. But he said don't look for a return of the Glen Campbell Good Time Hour.
Well, maybe specials, but a weekly show is really it's a hassle. Yeah, I did Dolly's show, and it brought back all the old memories of, 9 to 5, literally. Yeah. But doing like the Smothers special, that was fun to do. That was like a 20-year time warp. You know, it felt like we just got out of the studio a week before and then coming back to do another show. But Tommy and them got 6 more specials out of that special that they did, the 20-year reunion show.
Campbell was in town tonight to sing at a fundraiser for polio research sponsored by the Rotary Club. We'll bring you a little more of his music a little bit later on in this broadcast. Well, there's an abundance of NCAA tournament action. Sports is next. Well, as we told you earlier, country and western singer Glen Campbell was in town tonight raising money to fight polio. As we close tonight, we'll hear one of Glen's classic hits, Galveston. Thanks for joining us tonight.
WTKR Television Channel 3, Norfolk. Now, live from Hampton Road's #1 news source, Ed Hughes, Tom Randalls, Dwayne Harding, and John Castleberry. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Oh, here's one for you. Singer Glen Campbell, he tells all in a new book.
It shatters his boy-next-door image, but Campbell says it's for good reason. We'll explain and tell you about his visit to Hampton Roads next. And finally, a chance to meet an award-winning country singer.
Glen Campbell came to Hampton Roads today to promote his new book, Rhinestone Cowboy. He signed autographs at the bookstore at Founders Inn in Virginia Beach. Campbell says some people might be shocked by his book, which tells of money, booze, and drugs. But he says religion and a new marriage have turned his life around, and he's hoping that others will learn from his mistakes.
He looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Took him a long time to get to Phoenix, though. By the time
I get to Phoenix.
You know, a lot of people don't realize, but Glen Campbell was a studio musician for a long time, and it's amazing just how many albums and groups and other people that he appeared with before we got to know him.
He's a pretty darn good guitar player still.
Oh, he's an excellent guitar player. Well, I might take in the ball game tonight, but I will be back tomorrow.
And I'll be back at 11 o'clock. Take care.
If you see news in the making, call Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 1-800-243-TIPS.
You're watching WAVY TV 10. Now, carries on Alveda Yule, Bruce Rader, and Don Slater. Live from Virginia's leading news channel, this is WAVY News 10 tonight.
Well, with us, we'll give you a glimpse of the Rhinestone Cowboy himself.
And finally, tonight, the original Rhinestone Cowboy was in town today to promote his autobiography. Glen Campbell graciously chatted with fans and autographed copies of his just-published book at Wordsworth Books. The book, not surprisingly, is entitled Rhinestone Cowboy, and it tells of Campbell's rise from poverty in Arkansas to stardom on the pop and country music charts. The book pulls no punches, though. It discusses the downside of Campbell's life, cocaine and heavy drinking. The book's price is in the Rhinestone range as well, $22 for the hardcover edition. Interesting reading, I'll bet.
Yes, it is. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tonight's show is next. Good night.
Good night.